Welcome! Today we are going to take a look at Microfleur. This is a microwave flower press. Micro stands for microwave, of course, and fleur is flowers in French. Okay, so when you open the box, this is what you get, plus 4 clips. The clips look like this, and I'll show you how it works. So right here we have a top plate. It's a hard plastic that has holes. You can see the perforations right here. That's supposed to be for the moisture to escape when you put it in the microwave. And this kind of plastic is very much like this kind of plastic that you can put in the microwave. This is some microwave tray I got a long time ago, and you're supposed to put your veggies on here, and then there's a trough here. You can see between the lines that you can put some water to steam your vegetables. I never used it though, I was too lazy. But it's this kind of a plastic anyway. So we remove this top plate. This is a wool pad right here. It's about, I'd say, almost a 1/4 inch thick. And it's kind of a beige color. It's a wool pad because people who hike a lot know this. Wool wicks away moisture. Okay, so when you take it out of the microwave, oftentimes you'll see some condensation on the inside of this top plate right here. Okay, and wool is a very grippy material. It can be itchy as well, which is why they provided a liner fabric so that your flowers or leaves won't get stuck to the wool. So this is a really thin, really thin liner fabric. And it's the same kind of organization. So I would put my flowers on here, then I would put another liner fabric on top, so it's like a sandwich. Then I would put the wool pad on top, and then the second plate would go on top like this. And here we have assembled it with the 4 clips. These are the clips, and they just kind of slide right on. If you can tell, it just slides right on and it slides right off like that. It's very easy to use. One thing to note is when you take it out of the microwave, the inside where the flowers are sandwiched in there, it is very hot. You would not think it would be very hot when you put it in the microwave for a 5-second or 10-second burst, but it really is, and you should be careful because you can burn yourself if you're not careful. And I don't know if I said this before, but this is the large version, which is 9 inches square. They do make a smaller one, which is 5 inches, but it seemed like 5 inches you would not be very productive. So that's why I bought the bigger one. So this is my microwave, and I found that the best setting for my microwave was to put it on defrost. And then as the company suggests, you should use short bursts, especially when you first experiment with it. I used 5-second, 10-second, 15 and 20-second bursts. So these are hydrangea flowers, and you can tell that when I took it out of the microwave, it was yellowy and stuff where the brown is. I've let these flowers sit for about a week and a half, so they are a little bit more brown than normal. This one was a nice one, but hydrangea flowers are very difficult to do, even when you put it on defrost or low power setting, and I think I went between 5 and 10 seconds at a time. You have to do a lot of experimentation because not all flowers work very well with this method. I think hydrangea flowers may be one of those tough ones to get perfect. Even on the short burst, they did have a lot of yellowing. And I used a big bunch of hydrangeas I bought at Trader Joe's, which has probably the cheapest cut flowers you'll ever find. These are some more hydrangeas. I think some of these look a little bit better than the other ones. after I stuck them in a couple of times in the microwave, I just layered them on pieces of paper and put a really heavy book on it. I wasn't really happy with how it turned out in the microwave. Okay, so these are my pressed, just traditional pressing methods, hydrangeas. And they've been sitting around for like, 2 weeks, maybe? And they look great. I don't see much browning or discoloration with these blue hydrangeas. I press them under a book, actually. So that's pretty good, and I think the book pressing method is the way to go with the hydrangeas. As I mentioned before, the microwave, even on defrost for 5 seconds, it just burnt them like a crisp. So, all right. These are some mini carnations that I tried as well. Their original color is like a really deep purple. So I did a couple of different things. These that are flattened right here, these two little, these flattened ones right here, I actually cut off the flower a little bit above the base. I stuck them into the microwave for 2 bursts of, I think, 8 seconds each. And then I took them out to check, and they came out kind of flat, but it was still holding a lot of moisture. And I decided that I would just take it out, leave it out, and let it dry, and not put it in the microwave anymore, because I was not getting very great results. Here are some where I cut it really close to the base, and I just let it sit on a paper towel to air dry naturally. And I kind of like these more than actually putting it into the microwave. I like how they dried up, and the color is still pretty great. It's pretty deep purple. I'm not sure if the phone camera picks it up very well. Okay, so these flowers have been hanging upside down for about a week, and these did not do very well at all. They're the same purpley flowers, but you can see where there was a lot of rot developing and browning. You can see right here, these are not usable. So I think that the hanging method doesn't work very well for these carnation-like flowers. These are not carnations. I went to Trader Joe's to get some more, and they're not carnations, but they look like carnations, okay? So when they're in water, they're fine. So right now I have peeled back the base of the flower, and this is what it looks like right now. And these are the peelings that used to go like, let's see, like this. And I would say, you can even save these and also press them for a project that we will introduce later this year. It's going to be a fun one. And now what I'm going to try to do is detach each petal and lay it down. Here's one. They want to curl a certain way, so I want to put it in the opposite direction, and I hope they kind of flatten out there like that. Okay, to save some time, I just took a pair of kitchen shears, or it can be craft shears. Just do not use your sewing shears, okay? And I just cut it at the base like that, okay? So that helped me to quickly separate all these petals. And I'm going to want to do them, lay it flat one by one. They have a certain natural curve that you can see. So I want to put it I think face down like this. That'll be the best way to actually press them out. And then some of these I'm also going to not use the microwave, and I'm just going to do it the conventional way, to put it between, pages of a book or something with a weight on top. And these are so delicate that I would want to use like a parchment paper or something, just so it, you know, reduces the amount of stickiness, I guess, to the paper. Because some of that moisture will cause it to, you know, stick to the paper a little bit. And I know some people have plastic tweezers and stuff. I do not, but this is a scrap piece of cardboard from a manila folder. Okay, and I just bent it like this, or you can create your own shape, like, you know, like this or whatever. And I sometimes just use this to kind of tease the petals along, and sometimes you can get underneath and lift it up if you need to. Sometimes it does stick. Something this delicate would stick to the liner a little bit, you know. So sometimes I just use the edge of this, you know, manila folder scrap, and I just kind of get underneath the flower and petal, and then just kind of tease it onto here, and then I can transfer it very easily. You do not need to go out and buy fancy tweezers or anything like that. So we'll let these sit for a little while, and we'll check on them later. Okay, so from these purple flowers, I picked some buds that have not opened, and I'm just going to open it up. So you have to be kind of careful, kind of squeeze it to see where you can get in there and just open up the bud very carefully like this. Just kind of peel it back. And just toss the green stuff, the green outer layer there. So here we are, like this. And I'm going to try to just use my fingers. I don't really have nails, but if you can just open the flower bud up a little bit. You know, so you can see some of the petals that are there. This also looks really great. You know, it's very natural. Okay, so this is kind of like what I'm doing. This is what you can do with some of those buds that you can open up. Okay, so I just took those little buds out of the microwave. I gave it about 10 to 12 second burst on defrost. Okay, so I'm lifting the top layer, and you can see there's a little bit of condensation. I just wiped it away. Now this is the top wool pad, the top liner. I peel it back carefully, especially, okay, here's the stem side. If you peel it towards the bud, it should be pretty good. Okay, so they're still moist, of course, right now. They're warm. It's warm around here, and they are flattened a little bit. I think the microwave helps it, you know, get that shape that you want, so it's a lot flatter. So here are the buds that I opened up. You can see that they're really kind of cute, and you definitely can use them, so don't throw it away. And also I should mention that having the liner cloth right here with some, you know, colors and maybe a little bit of staining, that's perfectly normal. Don't be worried, okay? So you can see here's some staining from before. Don't be worried about that. What you do not want is to actually have some browning and singeing of the liner cloth, because if you put it in too long at too high a power, that can definitely happen, and you don't want that. And then I'm going to transfer it over to a piece of paper. Remember, if it's recycled printed paper, don't, you know, put it on the printed side. I just use the back side. Okay, sometimes they can be a little bit delicate. So I'm just going to put it like this on there. Then I have a leftover piece of parchment paper. I'm just going to put it like this. And then I'm going to put like a heavy book or two on top, and I'm going to let it sit for a couple of days. Okay, so these flowers look like roses, but they are not. I forgot their name. It starts with an L. But when I picked it up at Trader Joe's, I thought they looked like roses, but they were much cheaper. So what I did was I cut it at the base. You can see this one is kind of flattened. I just wanted to see what it would look like if I stuck it in the Microfleur and microwaved it. I think this one I microwaved about 10 seconds at a time, and then so it would be a 10-second burst and then a 5-second burst. And even now when I'm touching it, it's kind of moist inside, so I would not stick these into the Microfleur at all. It just does not end up really pretty. So here's another one that I tried to press in the microwave right here. It's not very pretty. So I don't think these flowers would look really good if you did them all in the microwave in a flower press, which is this, right? So this, it's partway dried. It's still kind of moist on the inside, but I just left this one sit out on a paper towel and just dry naturally. Same with this. I think the results are much nicer. Some flowers, like the company says, like tulips and ones with, many petals that are thicker, you're not going to get a great result in the flower press. I think you probably could cut them cross-sectional or something and then put it in, but this one turned out pretty nice on its own, drying on its own on top of a paper towel. I've had them sitting out for about, 8 days. So these are the petals of an oriental lily. Those guys open up real fast, like overnight sometimes. And using, a paper towel and a microwave dish right here, I stuck them in the microwave for about 10 to 11 seconds and took it out. And now they are kind of floppy. If you can tell, they're a lot floppier, and it's much easier to arrange them on a piece of paper to be pressed flat. Okay, I sort of am using both microwave and traditional pressing techniques on these flowers. So when they are fresh, these flowers' petals are kind of really curved and they're really pretty, but it's hard to arrange it on a piece of paper and get the same results you want to get after pressing them for a couple of days. So just microwave long enough to get them a little bit floppy. You might want to check your timing on the microwave and also your power. I have it set on defrost. Okay, so here I can demonstrate this flower petal right here. You can see it has browned a little bit here and on this side, and this one's a little bit like that too. So is this one. So that's an indication that they were in the microwave a little bit too long or at too high power. So I think rather than 10 seconds, I might want to cut it down to 5 or 7 seconds. That's what I'm going to try in the next burst. Some of them, like last night, came out really well. This one did really well right here. And also, in case you need to have something to kind of tease the flowers, petals around or whatnot, this is just a little scrap piece of paper from a manila folder. If you have a scrap cardboard or anything else, that would work really well too. Or if you just have scrap paper, you could just fold it a couple times to make sure it's stiff enough to kind of tease these guys around delicately on the piece of paper. Have fun!